sure of something, that you've seen it like this, and then it turns out to not be true. And even I feel like a lot of movies play on that as well.
So I think basically our brains gotten smaller because I think they're rewriting it. Like the archaeologists are like rethinking the way the dinosaurs looked. 10 men and 10 women, and there's an opportunity to
Days like you couldn't, modern humans can't imagine, right?
yeah.
Like every day is literally a feat of survival. How are we gonna survive?
Yeah.
How are we gonna get food? Where's the danger?
I have to talk louder and look at camera. Alright. So what's up, Morgan? How you doing?
Yeah, man, all good over here.
I'm doing great too. I had a very slow morning. I woke up at 12 or 1 p.m. So it was a slow start.
Yeah, same. 1 p.m. wake up.
Yeah, I have to get back into the normal regime. You have to, because tomorrow classes start and I'm like, yo, can't I don't want to go. I don't.
Nah,
I just want to.
There's no motivation there.
Yeah, stay in bed.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring up a couple topics. Mainly, I want to talk about the brain, but overall, I just wanna just talk. So,
yeah.
Let's. Did you know that? I don't know how to start it, bro. Let me.
Brain is like a computer.
Oh yeah. Did you know that our brain basically lies to us, a lot?
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I think our brain is basically like a big processor, big chip.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes to save energy, I mean, it does take. It's like the number one organ that takes up a lot of energy in our body. So the calories that we intake, about 20% of it goes to the brain, if I'm not wrong. I have to look it up one more time, but yeah, if I'm not wrong, a lot of energy goes to the brain.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a big processor. And the reason why I said to you that it lies to us constantly is basically because the Monopoly guy from the board game. I recently was on the internet and I saw that there was a question somebody asked, did he ever have a monocle?
Yeah.
And I was like, he probably does. I mean, I always imagine him having a monocle, but then he said no, he doesn't. So I was like, yo, that's interesting. But and then there was one more question. I'm gonna ask you, I kind of want to test you. You know Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
So did he have a black tip on his tail? What do you think?
Yeah.
He
He's
did.
always a bit black tip.
Yeah. Well, he actually did not. So I was like, yeah. When I looked it up, I was like, yo, damn, really?
Yeah, nah. I mean, we was talking about this before, right?
Yeah.
Like this Mandela effect, where you're so convinced that something's the way it is, or something's happened.
Yeah.
And it just never was the case. That just wasn't reality.
Yeah.
And that never existed. But you're so convinced in your mind that this happened, and your brain's telling you, showing you images that this is the way it is, and then it turns out it's not even true,
Yeah.
And when you told me about the Monopoly guy,
Right.
with the glass piece,
Yeah.
I was disbelief. You remember when I was talking about that?
Yeah.
And when you was telling me he never had that eyepiece, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Because we so sometimes you see our brain works you expect it to just you see something and then you expect it to save that image in your brain, and that's how you recall memories, and that's how the memory is stored in the brain. But it's actually, when you look at a certain thing, the that frame is basically split into separate it's separate sensory information. So basically you remember the smell, you remember the certain color range, and then you remember certain silhouettes.
Like
And then,
five senses kind of thing.
yeah. And then it's just stored in different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
And whenever you want to recall your that memory, it's just your brain basically collects all that information and then creates the image.
Right,
So when it does that, sometimes gets it wrong.
yeah.
I mean, it gets it wrong a lot of times, but sometimes it's noticeable. You know, like the monocle thing and then the Pikachu thing. It's very famous, and it's not like one person saw that and thought that, and like we just so it didn't become a thing because only one or a couple of people experienced that. It's very famous. That's why it's gotten its own name, and it's very famous. But
I mean, this must be a thing that happens to most people, if not everybody.
yeah,
You know, I feel like most people have experienced the same sort of thing, where you're almost 100% sure of something, that you've seen it like this, and then it turns out to not be true. And even, I feel like a lot of movies play on that as well, you know?
yeah.
Like a lot of like psychological thriller kind of movies that mess around with your head. I feel like they play on Mandela effect a lot. Like they somehow like implement it in their movies, where it's like, you know, your brain's always gonna get tricked because you're so convinced something's the case, and it turns out it's like not.
You know, there's I just watched a reel on Instagram where one guy, he just examined Bruno Mars songs, you know, and then the new APT song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hear it everywhere here in Japan.
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's too much though.
And then the one with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So he basically, this guy says that those songs kind of like they seem familiar to something, like to an old song, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, why do they seem so familiar? And it's basically this thing. So they use certain rhyme that was used before, and then they put it in a song. I might be like explaining it wrong, but I think this is how I got it. So they basically use that rhyme, that melody, and then when they make a song, when you hear something familiar, the the songs that blow up, it's basically the songs that used perfectly familiar rhymes.
Yeah.
And made a
made a remix.
Yeah,
like,
it's
kind of thing over it.
yeah. The first time you hear it, it's like your brain is like, yo, it's something familiar.
Yeah. Like a sample, like when, you know, like all these artists, they use samples of songs that came out like decades ago, and then, you know, they release it now, just change up the lyrics, change up the beat, change it about a bit, but you know, it's still got that original kind of sound.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
Another, I wanna bring up another topic which was like, it was a little shocking when I researched it, but I'm gonna make a short about it, make a video about it. But it basically was that, did you know that in the past 30,000 years our brains got smaller? Yeah, it's like 10% smaller than the early humans' brains. Yeah. I was
Really?
like, yo, yeah. What the heck? Like, but I then thought about it, and I kind of came up with an explanation.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put it like very beautifully. I kind of want to put it in my video, but I'm gonna briefly mention it. So it's basically, I think it's because we have offloaded a lot of problems that our brains solve to the technologies that we have now.
Yeah, like computers and things.
Yeah.
smartphones.
Yeah. I'm gonna explain it like very clearly in my video, but like basically it's that, you know how like early humans, they just, whenever they wake up, they have to think about the meals that they're gonna eat today, right? They don't have refrigerators, you know, like no fridge. Yeah, no saved food, but
Yeah, like I feel like that, you know, like that's the first time me hearing that fact actually,
yeah,
about, you know, human brains getting smaller. But really, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because, you know, like as technology is getting better, naturally we don't have to, you know, manually do things ourselves as much, right? So our brain has a lot less things to absorb and learn and understand.
Yeah, I think
Like we can't even, you can see that real time really with like a lot of people in the computer science industry. They're kind of getting run out of their jobs now because AI is doing their job for them at a way quicker rate.
Exactly.
And just getting outperformed, and there isn't a need for humans to be doing these kind of work when you've got AI for it now. And like, yeah, I mean that's like small scale, but like even happening in a lifetime, that's just like showing that process,
Exactly.
That over years and thousands of years, humans ain't gonna be doing half the things that we need to do now, because of technology, the way it's progressive.
I remembered what I was gonna say. So I think basically our brains gotten smaller because we've offloaded many problems that we had to solve back in the day, like hunting, finding food, and like usually when you hunt, you have to memorize. It's not only hunting the animal; it's basically you have to memorize the landscape and you have to find your way back home, right? So we've offloaded all that to our technologies. So like, if I tell you, if I want to share an information with you, what do? You just take out your phone and write it on the notes, right? Or get a pen and write it on the notebook. But back in the day, you had to memorize all that, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the what do you call it? The computing power is basically spread out to the technology. So we've offloaded a lot of problems that we had to solve nowadays. So that's why I think it's gotten smaller. Yeah, and it's significant. It's like 10% smaller.
I feel like looking at human history on the large scale is such a big thing. And like seeing the change of human beings since the beginning of our history to now is crazy. And also, there is kind of like a theory. And I didn't know about this theory, but I did hear about it on Instagram. I don't know if that's the most reliable source, but we're going with it anyways. Called Old Earth Theory and New Earth Theory.
Right.
And basically, Old Earth Theory is obviously the understanding that the Earth itself is 4.6 billion years old, 4.5 billion years old.
Right.
And obviously, it's had millions of years for life to evolve and, grow and also have extinction events, etc., etc. All before mankind even became a thing, right?
Right.
And, it kind of looks at the beginning of human beings, humanoid, Homo sapien, and before that, the ancestors, and it looks at their origins, starting off in Africa and stuff. And that happened about maybe 200,000 years ago. So that's where the timeline of human beings kind of starts. 300,000, 200,000 years ago.
Right.
Of modern humans. But then New Earth Theory is that it's kind of tied in with religion. Where it's the Earth began 2,000 years ago.
When Jesus.
When Jesus saw the 7 days of creating the Earth.
Yeah.
That kind of theory.
That's very interesting. I do agree with you. Because I've watched a podcast with Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock. I think he's he has this theory. So you know how the pyramids in Egypt, nobody really knows how it was built, right?
Yeah.
And it was built 13,000 years ago. 13,000 years is it's no
that's the longest fucking time ago.
It's I can't imagine the person living in 13 in that time, in that era. But what he says is basically, what if it was the I'm not it's not a quote, but I'm rephrasing him, so I might get a couple of things wrong, but what he basically says that, what if the civilization, we have a fully developed civilization that that was just like we now, us now, even more developed, right? And then there was a switch, there was some factor that that something that worked out, and we had to. Uh, everybody just blew up themselves.
Oh, right. Like kill them themselves.
Yeah,
like
mass
event.
extinction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mass
exactly.
extinction,
That's the
yeah.
word.
But like brought on by themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So he believes that. I might be wrong. I have to say that because I'm rephrasing it, and I might, But he said that we have had developed civilizations, and they have built that. But then something along the way happened, and then they went extinct, and now we're the descendants of. You know how like if apocalypse happens, like everybody goes to the bunkers and like in the movies, right? And then they have to go out and they have to rebuild the world, right? Basically, the civilization. And he believes that we us now, it's rebuilt of the
old world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is
I
a
think
sick
that's
theory. Yeah.
Is that close to?
Yeah, that is like basically. Cause I mean, it would make sense, right? Because if human beings have been around for a long time, it would make sense for kind of pre-advanced civilizations, maybe.
Exactly.
And like room for that, and also like there's a lot of like theories about extraterrestrials, like aliens, coming to Earth during like Egyptian times to help build the pyramids.
Yeah.
Because as you know, there's pyramids in Egypt, there's pyramids in Mexico, and I think somewhere else in the world.
Right.
But they're kind of dotted around, right, and they all have some alignment. They all have like relation to each other. Yeah. And then it's like you're looking at the timeline and you're thinking, intercontinental communication was not a thing then. Obviously, it did exist. That was before, like fucking electric lines and modern technology.
Right.
So how was that done, and how is it so kind of accurate? I mean, these are still theories, right? And they're not proven, 100%. But it's like it's just interesting to like think about like how were these things made all those years ago, and like.
I don't know if it relates to this topic, but you know how the what do you call North America, South America
people?
No. The division of the land, like Australia, North America, South America.
Oh, colonial.
Europe. No.
Continents?
Yeah, continent. Oh man, that's the word.
We got there.
Yeah. So the continents, it's now like it's all like split now, right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, like there's I don't know if it's a theory or maybe a fact, I don't know, but I think they were all like connected.
Oh yeah, Pangea,
Yeah,
Pangea. Yeah, that's what the super continent was called when all the Earth's continents were one.
Right. So that's how we have the various like animals like spread around, like like in Australia you see the animals that you would never thought would be there, right? That's probably why people think.
And also a good one is I think lions. There's lions in India and elephants in Southeast Asia, which have come from Africa because they've kind of traveled from Africa to get into these lands.
Are there lions in?
Yeah, there's lions in India. I think they're kind of like endangered, but there is actually lions in India.
I didn't know that.
That's a cool fact as well.
Yeah.
I learned that kind of recent as well. Just like damn, there's lions in India.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to connect it to the topic of pyramids, right? Like why is there a pyramid in Egypt and then at the same time in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was. I don't know though. Like might have been kind of like because the continents were all one and probably I don't know, but another theory, I think this is like Joe Rogan's theory.
All right.
So
great guy.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
That's a cool guy. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we're shouting out. Yeah.
Joe Rogan's gonna get a promotion on our video.
Yeah. So so he basically thinks that the aliens, they've just how do you call, gave us the first push that we needed to build this civilization. So they maybe just didn't want to fuck us up much, but just like sprinkled a little like technology here and there. And then we have to, I don't know if it's true though. do think it's his theory. Like he believes in that. I do think I heard it from him, but I'm not sure. So again, like do fact check.
Yeah.
This channel, we're just ranting.
Yeah, we're just talking. We're not really backed up by any list of facts. Just kind of general knowledge about whatever we've picked up. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, some research.
There's research. There is some research for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that might be a thing. That might be a thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be. Yeah. But at the same time, there's another theory. Yeah, I'm just theory dropping today.
Theories.
Yeah. So, you know how like Mars is like now it's like uninhabitable and like it's all like dust and like But back in the day, I think it was. I have read it somewhere, but scientists do believe that back in the day it was like just like Earth. It had it was green. It had water. It had
that's a real popular one as well.
Yeah. So I don't know to whom this theory belongs to, but I think somebody said that what if we lived very well like on Mars, but then we fucked it up and then came back to Earth,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a trippy thought, but
Yeah.
might be a thing,
Yeah.
and I think if we don't take care of the Earth that we have now, we might be
making the same mistakes. If you go down that theory.
Yeah. It's a trippy thought, but I think it has some truth in it. Might have some.
Yeah, I mean, our kind of past is very unknown, right? Because obviously the technology at the time, it wasn't very good at making memories and notes of things that happen. I mean, there's a lot of cases where it does make good notes of specific events, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's just blank history, especially when you're going really far back, kind of past 10,000 years ago. It just gets really like murky, like.
Yeah. You know how? Sorry.
No.
Alright. So, you know how the dinosaurs are always depicted having this thick skin, and it's like always like crocodile-like skin, and like
crocodile,
and they don't have. They're never depicted in fur, having fur or like any like belly or like so.
Reptiles.
Yeah.
Reptile.
Might be, but I think I heard somewhere. I think it was Huge If True YouTube channel. She Cleo Abrams. I think she talked about it a little bit, but I think they're rewriting it. Like the archaeologists are like rethinking the structure, like the way the dinosaurs looked. So basically, they've always attached all the muscles to the bones, right? But if you do that, the modern cat looks very like reptile-like, you know. But what if they had fur, and what if they like basically dinosaurs look like cats would have, like cat. You cannot replicate a cat by just
putting his bones together.
Yeah, because like I can't. Let me just so like if you get a bone, right, and you put muscles like on the expected places, right, it still looks different than the cat itself now. Because it has fat, it has fur, and it has
different features.
Yeah. So that's what they're thinking. Like maybe we've gotten it wrong. Maybe they had fur. Maybe they were fat. Maybe they, the raptor looked very different. Like didn't look like chicken, but like had even chickens. They're what do you call it? They come from dinosaurs.
Right, they do have that direct link to dinosaurs.
So but they don't. They look nothing like dinosaurs. They have fur. They have So basically they're rethinking the dinosaurs part. But,
I think actually that's a popular theory, and I've had some people say to me as well, like that dinosaurs aren't what we think they are, like or what they look like, with like all reptilians and like T-Rex with small arms and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of mystery around that, and a lot of people saying it's not true, it's kind of false, and some people don't even believe in dinosaurs, still. Like, a lot of people still don't even believe in their existence, and like they're not real, they never happened. Maybe probably a lot of New World believers that believe in that the Earth is very young, relatively,
Yeah.
will definitely not believe in the kind of old world stuff.
Yeah, I think religion had a big role in that.
Yeah, definitely. Religion, like, you know, I won't say this is controversial to say, but like, you know, religion, you know, is really a big change in compared to scientific thought. It's a kind of completely different outlook.
Yeah.
I mean, on where things started and the history of things.
Yeah.
And you know, the history of human beings is very different in looking through the religious lens. Let's say it is very different to looking at it from a scientific lens, I'd say.
Yeah, I kind of came up with a question. So everybody thinks about it, and like kind of back in their mind, they kind of wish maybe to like, what if there was an apocalypse? Yeah, what would you do, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a thought experiment, like back in the day when I was like, you know, had a lot of time in my mind, in my hands. So I would just sit there and like imagine, like, what if there was an apocalypse? What would you do? Like, so can I ask you this question? Because I kind of want to lead to another topic that I want to talk about.
No, okay.
So, okay. So what if you, not you, let's say, what if there were 10 men and 10 women, perfectly, how should I, readable? Or,
So, of the age to have kids,
Yeah, so...
basically.
Man.
No, that's
Okay.
funny, that's funny.
Yeah, so so 10 men and 10 women, and there's an opportunity to, you know, make kids, and
Right.
So if that happened, like, what is their thought? Like, do you think we could have rebuilt this, like, over like maybe thousands of years? We could have rebuilt this. How would it look like? You know, like this civilization.
I mean, the first thing that's coming to my mind is incest, because if they're the only 10 people,
no, they don't have to be related.
they won't be related, but then
yeah.
it's like generations down. If these people are the only survivors,
Yeah.
eventually the pool is like coming too close,
Yeah, that's
which is the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah. That's true. We might have. I mean, our ancestors might have.
Maybe. I mean, there is a lot of that, but this is the key. This also links back to the new and old world theory, right?
Yeah.
In old world, you would have a naturally big gene pool because there would be so many human beings
Yeah.
that have originated, and you know, from different genetic lines.
Yeah.
But then with New World, it's like Adam and Eve, and then, you know, like if they have kids, then they have kids. Like how does the spread of human beings come out from, you know, one pair?
Exactly.
People? So it's a bit, you know, it's the first thing that my mind jumps to when it comes to that kind of thing. Is like, you know, how does it work?
I mean, that's the first thing that came into my mind too.
Yeah,
That's a very valid thought. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I do kind of think that our ancestors might have been, you know, like, because if we believe into the New World
Theory. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to accept it, really.
Yeah. But I have to remind you, don't take us serious. It's just us talking and like.
Yeah. We're just bouncing around different ideas.
Yeah. So I wanted to lead that question into so you know how we have cars now, phones, and most of us do know how it's built, right? But no one man, like individual man, can build a car.
Yeah.
Or like a
from
phone,
scratch,
right?
Yeah,
from scratch. Yeah. So it comes back to the distribution of the mental power that we have done. So
Yeah.
so if there was an apocalypse, do you think like we would have, like, I mean, at best we might be able to, like, I can make a fire, and I'm not sure if like I can really make a fire. I haven't really done it, but like, are we gonna be able to make a fire? Are we gonna be able to find food? And like, you know, how is it gonna look like, right?
Yeah. About the skills of people, right?
Yeah.
And especially in now modern times, we have less of those skills individually
Exactly.
to survive in a post-apocalyptic world.
We are most dependent on each other now, like than ever before, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah, definitely. Most dependent on technology
Yeah.
and, you know, other people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I kind of think that it's one of the reasons that our brain gotten smaller. You know.
Mm.
So I just wanted to lead it to that.
Nah. We're relating all the topics here now. Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a really
it's
good
just-
kind of
it's a-
conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all falling into each other, you know.
I mean, it's natural, so it's
Yeah. So it's naturally
Authentic.
gonna be that. Authentic.
Yeah,
Authentic.
that's the word.
All right, come here for authentic conversation and podcast.
Yo,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out.
yeah.
But yeah.
Shout out to Joe Rogan again.
Shout out Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You
So,
know.
top. And like last time when we filmed it, I talked a little bit about the problems we have, like comparing again like to early humans. Like, so it was recently that I was a little like couple of days like a little bummed. Wouldn't call it depressed, but I was like, you know, like where's my life going and like what am I doing? And it all started with my computer. I thought it was broken, but it wasn't. I thought it was, attacked by, a virus. And,
Virus,
yeah.
yeah.
But it wasn't. It was just that it didn't have enough power, and then it just glitched, I think. But I was like, yo, it's like, it's an expensive laptop, and like it's broken, and I'm like, yo, and it's not turning up,
Yeah.
and I can't do my work, and like I was like,
yeah,
very bummed, and that led to me thinking about my future and like and all that. But then again, like I thought back, like what am I doing, right? Like I'm here, just depressed just because my laptop doesn't turn on. Like,
yeah, it
that's-
doesn't turn on. Yeah,
like I'm not. I have food. I have like my phone. I can do my work on my phone, right?
Yeah.
It's a very, when I thought back at it, like looked back at it, kind of seemed very silly, like to get bumped by the laptop not working. But then again, I think we kind of do usually like get really depressed by like little things. Like I want to say that we're not appreciative of what we have now. Like like last time we talked, you said back in the day, we had to worry about the. Do you remember?
Yeah. Like we had to worry about like food, shelter,
Yeah.
survival, making sure that your family or your group is safe.
Yeah.
You've got actually I saw this also another video of Instagram, most reliable source, of this like this monkey, this type of baboon or a type of baboon, right? But it's a meat eating baboon, and it used to be like 3-4 times the size of human beings, and like these things apparently existed around the time of early humans.
Yo, damn.
And like humans were scared of these creatures because one, also like baboons are like human-like. All monkeys are like human-like in a way.
Yeah.
And like imagine something that's 3-4 times the size of you,
Damn.
huge, big canines,
Shit.
and like they eat flesh. They'll hunt you, so you're like prey to them.
Yo.
And it's like these things were around the time of early humans.
Yeah.
And so imagine how scared shitless you'd be if you ran into one of them.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
Like you just had so many different things to worry about
Exactly.
in early human days. Like you couldn't, modern humans can't imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like every day is literally a feat of survival. How are we gonna survive?
Yeah.
How are we gonna get food? Where's the danger?
Yeah. Exactly.
And like you didn't even have the time to think long term as well.
Yeah.
Like think about your long term memory. It would not really be there, right? Because you're not thinking, like a week later, or not, you're not even thinking days down the line.
Yeah.
Really, you're just thinking day by day.
Yeah. Today might be the last.
The
day,
last day.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I
that's
feel
true.
like as modern humans, we've taken that for granted.
Yeah.
Because we can't help it, we do take our days for granted because we don't think there's a likely chance of something bad happening, life-threatening,
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah. So we kind of have to sometimes maybe be appreciative of that.
Yeah,
Because like if I have a broken laptop, I can just go ahead and like fix it, right?
yeah.
It's gonna work. Right?
Or get a new one.
Yeah,
like,
get a
you
new
know.
one. I'm not gonna starve to death. Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you're not. It's not a life and death situation.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So.
But that's the thing, because we're faced with less life and death situations.
Yeah.
We're more worried about the things that are less significant.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I mean naturally, right? Naturally, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a consequence of life. Standard of living is better,
Yeah.
and like, you know, it's less of a survival kind of thing for most people.
But yet again, like if I think about it, and like I kind of want to say it's probably because we still have that primal brain, the brain that had to every day like worry about food and like all the dangers that could come at you. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's that, but it didn't realize that we're safe now. So
Yeah.
anxiety is basically us just, early humans just be if you're like filled with anxiety, like if you're an early human and you have anxiety, that means you can survive. Like that means you're like
you're kind of cautious about
exactly
things, right?
yeah, and you had to be
Yeah.
and I think now like that just sips into our modern world. I think.
We kind of get cautious about things that aren't exactly directly kind of affecting us.
Yeah, so it might be the what do you call it, evolutional, I don't know, like
Gap
trait.
kind of. Trait is better word, not gap.
That's not we're not fully evolved to the times that we have now, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to make a really good point on the kind of pace of evolution.
Yeah.
Is like so people born, I think, in the early 20th century, so like in the 1910s or 1912s or something, those people throughout maybe 70, 80 years of life, right, up to 100, they've experienced the most dramatic change that any human being has experienced in terms of technological development.
Yeah.
So like at the start of that century, planes were just invented, right? I think in 1920. I think it was a bit before that. I think it was early 1900s, maybe 02 or 03, 05. I don't know, around that time.
Yeah.
And that was when planes were invented, and literally halfway through the same century, humans landed on the moon.
Yeah.
In the 1960s space race. So obviously we're gonna have viewers that are getting back, false, not true, they'll never happen. But we'll just for our case in this point that we're making now, we're gonna say that it happened, right?
Yeah, especially with. I don't want to say anything bad about my audience, but one of my first videos was like, why Earth is not flat and round at the same time. So that was
Yeah, so
I just wanted to find something catchy, and then but it's basically I don't want to go off topic. I can mention it later, but and
these people, like, the amount of change that they've gone through was kind of a shock to their system, right?
And imagine 2 world wars.
And 2 world wars in that same span as well. I mean, the change is unimaginable, right? Really, I mean, I think people actually got a kind of shock from that, a kind of mental shock from that, because things just moved so quickly at the turn of that century.
Yeah, imagine like you're 18, you're a man, you wanna just date the girl you want, but now you have to go to the world war. And then like when you're 40, you have to go again, and
it's like, what the fuck is going on?
So damn, I think that generation is probably the toughest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most of them are dead now. Most of them are dead or dying off. I mean, even people that have lived through the war or fought in the war are definitely like reaching that last years. So they're kind of becoming a lost generation, but it's crazy that even we can still meet people that have lived that time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, true. Like my granddad, like he was born before the war, so he was like a child through the war, and he obviously never fought in it because he was too young. But like he experienced like the Blitz in like London and like bombs being dropped by German planes. Yeah.
Yo, did he tell Did he used to tell you about it? Like.
I mean, he doesn't remember much of it now. But like, you know, back when I was a bit younger, he would say some stories like about his experiences and stuff when they'd get moved up in the north part of England because of the danger
The
in
London.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is crazy. Like, imagine living through them times.
Damn.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, living through them times.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it now.
I think the Gen Z, or what do you call it? Like, we wouldn't.
Gen Z.
Yeah. we probably wouldn't have even been able to mentally work it out. You know, like a lot happening. We would have just are depressed as shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got so many people with social anxiety, depression, all these mental health conditions.
Yeah.
And like, a lot of people are like, where did this come from? Because, you know, go back a couple decades, that, you know, that wasn't as prevalent as it is now in society.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not as well, is also just me talking for the sake of the podcast. I'm not saying that with a fact, by the way. Definitely not. I'm kind of talking out my ass right now. But I've got some knowledge about it. So
yeah, we're not scientists.
We're not scientists. We're not
not
professionals. We're not social professionals. You know, we're not mental health experts.
And it's YouTube. Nobody goes on YouTube trying to find something. You know, like
yeah. So
especially
when it's a podcast, like, you know, where you always watch it with a grain of salt. That's gonna be somewhat unprofessional. Right?
Exactly. So, but the topic I wanted to mention is that one of my first videos was like, I don't have a lot of videos, so it's still one of my most watched probably videos. But it's how the Earth is round and not at the same time. I was basically just trying to say that it's round, but it's still not perfectly round because of the what do you call it? The rotation.
Rotation.
Yeah. So it's basically, we have the gravity. Gravity always pulls everything to the center, right? And that's consequently makes everything round. That's why everything is round.
Shapes it.
But then when you spin an object, the middle part, the sides, want to go out.
They come out, right?
Yeah.
At the equator.
Yeah.
And like, cool thing is that because I was in Singapore like past couple of days. This country's right on the equator.
Right.
And like, facts about being on the equator is that you weigh less.
Yeah.
Like 0.5 kg less than you do.
That's
at the
that.
poles.
Yeah.
Because it's stretched. Because the Earth's stretched out at the
And
equator.
it gets pulled outwards.
It gets pulled outwards, which is like really cool. And that's why, like, when they want to send rockets up in space, they do it from the equator because it's a better place to.
Really?
Yeah, or that near it, as close as possible.
Oh yeah, because you don't have to win through the.
Okay.
Okay.
The weight makes it
go against.
affordable.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention one more thing, but now that I think about it, we're gonna get to later. But what was I gonna say? Should we maybe stop now? Or,
Yeah, we can stop. I'm just thinking if anything's I want to cover. Not really.
Yeah, not a lot. Nothing comes to my mind now.
Yeah.
So
Was you thinking of something?
I was trying to remember one fact, but oh yeah. Okay. So coming back to the depression and the problems and all that.
Yeah.
It's not a. So there is a fact, but it's overall like it's just my point of view, and it's a joke, just a joke, right? So, there's the saying that when life gives you lemons, just make a lemonade, right? But life never gave us lemons.
Yeah.
Lemons are not naturally occurring, fruits. Yeah. It's a mix of citra, I think it was called, and very bitter orange. So we created lemons. We created our problems.
Well, we created our problems. That's the deeper meaning of it. Right?
Yeah. So it's a joke that I recently read, but yeah.
Actually, that's true about a lot of fruits that we eat nowadays.
If it's 2030 and like ChatGPT is watching this video, I do love AI. I'm very supportive of AI.
very, very, very supportive.
Well, Morgan,
Yep.
I think that's it.
It's been good.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
very
Yusuf,
much.
for letting me on.
Oh yeah.
It's been great.
If you like this video, like and subscribe. And
Like and subscribe.
yeah, and comment. We have to leave something like for people to comment and like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let your thoughts down in the comments.
Yeah.
Respond.
And a couple of questions I want to ask you. One is, if an apocalypse happened, what would you think the first things that we should do, and we could do maybe. And the second thought is, are we really getting to the next level of like evolving to the next stage of the what I just explained
the type
earlier?
1 civilization.
Yeah, type 1.
Yeah.
Are we getting to the type 3? Like, is it the right path to get to the type 3 that we're on? Is the path that we're on? So that would be cool to see what people think. I hope I'm not alone in the the ways I think. I'm probably
Definitely not.
And if you probably have already guessed that English is not my first language.
Yeah.
So, and I never told where I'm from in my channel. So it would be to the people that I don't know, because like a lot of my subscribers are like basically my friends and like So to the people who do not know me personally, I would love to hear your opinions and thoughts of where you think I might be from. Right?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And maybe Morgan too.
Yeah, maybe me, because I haven't said where I'm from in this podcast.
Yeah. He gave you a hint though. He gave you a hint.
Yeah. My accent's probably a hint as well, but it shouldn't. Mine's not as difficult as his. That's for sure.
Yeah.
His is definitely a challenge to get.
Exactly. So I'm gonna look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
And I'm gonna post this on YouTube, but I'm gonna cut some parts off, and I'm gonna post the full version on Patreon.
All right.
So. Because I have to basically eventually make some money to develop my channel. So
of course, get that money up.
Yeah. So
it's good. The bloopers are fun. They're good. So.
Exactly. So I'm unfortunately gonna have to put the full version of the Patreon. But if you go there and you can check it out, like the link is gonna be in the description
Down below.
Yeah, down below. Yeah. So all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. It's been great.
All right.